You're listening to Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marci Persky. In this installment, it's really all about Marci's upcoming surgery and the rehab and the pills.
I spent all morning looking for my replacement.
Ooh,
Because,
are we allowed to announce on the podcast that you're resigning?
Probably not. I don't know. The rescue group knows that I have to resign because I'm having this really nasty surgery next week.
Yeah.
That I've already Googled so many times that I could probably do the surgery on myself in my sleep. Literally. It is just so gross. Everything about it is so gross.
Why, if it's so gross, why are you... See, this is totally the opposite. When I had a really radical surgery, I didn't want to know. What's with you, Miss Faint at the Sight of Blood? And you're Googling your surgery and watching your surgery online? Are you nuts?
Yeah, I am nuts. I am 100% nuts. I mean, I'm more than nuts.
Who does that?
I read the ends of books first, and then I go back and read the beginning, though.
Okay, well, then why don't you just look at a picture of somebody's hand a year after surgery? Miss End of the Book first. Just do that.
I know.
Why? Okay, you've just screwed up your whole philosophy then. If you want to go straight to the end, that does not involve looking at the entire surgery online.
Maybe I have multiple personality disorders. One of my personalities has to know everything step by step. The other personality just wants the last chapter and some reviewer to spoil a movie for me.
That would explain a lot, the multiple personality thing. That would explain a lot.
Yeah, for people listening, I'm having my 5th wrist surgery, the grand finale, where they're going to implant a rod from my elbow to my palm, I think, so that I can only wave like a royal princess or somebody on a float.
Well, that's fine because you consider yourself a royal princess or somebody on a float.
It's true, empress. Yes, I'll be able to wave like an empress.
It's interesting how people deal with scary things. I just talked to a girlfriend of mine who had her hip replaced, and she went through the whole thing very matter-of-factly. Well, if I don't die in anesthesia, they're going to cut me open and take something out and put something foreign in, and then they'll sew me up. And if I don't die, then I'll have... And I'm thinking, well, that's one way of looking at it. But me, I did not want to know anything about the mechanics of my surgery.
My first question to them was, you were going to just shake your head. But my first question was, after this surgery, what kind of painkillers do I get and how many?
What was their answer?
She said, yeah, well, you'll get what you need. And I said, I do not need ibuprofen, ma'am. And I do not need Tylenol. I do not need aspirin or naproxen. And I named off like every drug that doesn't work after you have surgery. I said, the only thing I want better start with an Oxy or a Vico. And she said, okay.
What I think is likely to happen is that you wake up in freaking rehab is where I think you're.
No, I only take them when I have them. I don't go out on the street looking for them.
First time for everything.
No, not at my age.
Well, the only thing that's stopping you from going out in the street looking for them is the fact that there's no street.
No street. No, just primitive roads, they call them.
Ask your neighborhood cactus what it's holding.
That's my neighborhood meth lab is more like it.
Yeah, I don't think that'll
had another
help
fire
you.
last week.
Another meth fire?
Yeah, but it really wasn't near me. It was miles from here.
Oh, thing is bizarro.
Yes, it is. I think we did a whole show, though, on ingesting anything that's underneath your bathroom sink.
Yes, well,
It's just
bears repeating, I think.
I guess
Not a
it
good
does.
idea. It's worth
guess it
mentioning.
does. Okay, if you look in recent history,
Yes.
I had cataract surgery without anesthetic.
That's horrifying and revolting. I'm not putting this in the
And-
podcast.
Well, and I fell off my deck and broke not one but 2 ribs and went to emergency. They told me that nothing was broken and to take Tylenol. And then I slept sitting up for 3 months. I
Yeah.
don't like pain.
I don't like it, but I worry that I might like the remedy too much.
Is that how you feel like about marijuana?
Oh
Criminal, but
no,
I
I'll
don't
tell
do.
you how I feel about I'll tell you how I feel about marijuana. Um, I I do not like to feel disengaged from the tiny little brain that the powers that be bestowed on me. And
I know
I
you need control
I
all the
have,
time.
you got it. I have tried pot twice on purpose and once because nobody told me what kind of brownies they were. And I really like
Oh, that's
brownies.
bad.
And I'd eaten about 8 of them before anybody said, "Where'd the brownies go?" And I'm like, "Aren't they good?" And somebody looked at me like, "Oh man." It was like that line in The Streak. It was too late. She'd
Yeah.
already been mooned. I
Reefer madness.
so that was the one. The other time, okay, so the first time I tried it, I was indoors and I was miserable because I felt like the space was too small. There wasn't enough air, and I couldn't remember if I'd said things or only thought about saying them, and I was very upset. So then I thought, okay, well, the problem here is you were indoors at a party. There were people, there was music. And mind you, I was in college by the time. I skipped all of it in high school, didn't touch it. College. Then I thought, well, that's enough of that. Now I'm done with college. And I think maybe the proper way to do this, since everybody really digs it, is to be outdoors in a beautiful setting. So I'm at this music festival and I try again, and it felt like the sky was closing in on me and the trees were too small. And I couldn't remember whether I'd started to say things or just hadn't said the things and thought I was miserable. So if you want to know what I feel about pot, you can have all you want. Just keep it far away from me, please.
Well, I do not imbibe anymore. In college, yes. I was pretty heavy user, but so was everybody else that I was surrounded by at that time. But I found that as I've gotten older, the effect of it is much different. Like before, I could smoke weed and sit and watch a movie and laugh my butt off, or hang out with people and tell funny stories and just laugh and be friendly. Now, all I want to do is eat, 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 eat. I will go through the entire freaking pantry and eat everything. I'll eat stuff I don't like. And then the next morning I get up and I am so sick. And I let that happen twice. And after that, I said, no, it's probably not a good idea. Maybe I don't know if I've outgrown it or what. So back to pain meds.
Yeah.
My idea of surgery is to wake up, be upset, take drugs, go back to sleep, sleep for 2 weeks, wake up, don't be in pain anymore.
Do you have to do any physical therapy with this thing?
A lot. It's like from what Google says,
Yeah.
it's
Dr. Google. Dr.
it's
Google.
a almost a year-long recovery period.
Wow. Now you were practicing. You were
Yes, I
wearing
took it off.
a splint on your arm, but you hate it. You took it off.
I
So
took it
this
off
does
this
not
morning.
bode well for your future as a fused wrist person.
Yeah, well, I don't have a lot of choice in the matter at this
What are
point,
you
or I
gonna
wouldn't be
do
doing it.
if you can't stand the splint? What are you gonna do when it's permanent? Are you
Well,
gonna say,
it's gonna
screw it, take this fusing thing out? You can't do that, can you?
no, no, no.
I just had this idea. You know those metal bending lamps that are like a coil but they're stiff and you can kind
I
of
have one
bend
right
them?
here.
How come they can't put something in your wrist like that? So that like a bendable legs Barbie, so that you don't have to have your wrist in the same position all the time. You can decide, today I wish my wrist to be flipped up, and you can just kind of, in the morning you can set your wrist in the waiting tables with a big tray position. Or
Did you? You never had a bendy Barbie, did you?
I bought one as an adult because my parents would not buy a Barbie for me, and therefore I was a social outcast in my neighborhood.
I bent my bendable Barbie so many times that the wires popped out from her feet.
Is this what would happen to your wrist if you
I
bent
don't
it, you
know.
think? Because
No,
I
it won't
think if they
bend.
can do it with Barbie, why can't they do it with your wrist? They should have a thing that you can physically maneuver so that if you want to eat your soup, you can bend your
Uh,
wrist so that it will hold a spoon for the duration of the meal. And then at the end of the meal, you can bend your wrist the other way again.
Well, I'll be able to bend my elbow.
That's not a wrist. You can't fool
Oh, but
me.
at Penn State, you could put soup in your mouth by bending your elbow. The last brace they gave me, I couldn't bend my elbow, so therefore I couldn't eat my soup because I had to bend my
You
whole
just had to
body.
chase it down the block.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think I need to buy you
So
some of those Chinese restaurant spoons with a wall around them.
I'm gonna have people feed me,
Good luck with
feed me
that.
like a baby.
You know, Frankie will go to work and he'll be like, I left your lunch in the refrigerator, and that'll be the diet you'll be on. You'll be stuck there all day in your chair, unable to
With a
move,
box of
eat.
Special K.
That's
No
it.
milk.
Better get used to it. No milk for you. You'll be
You just
begging Butters to learn how to open the fridge.
that's one of my big fears is I don't need Butters to touch me anywhere for the next 3 months. Like I'm not gonna be really happy with him jumping on me.
You're the one who adopted the
I
happy
know, I know,
puppy.
I know, I know.
I'm for the scream in your face technique for desperation animal training.
I know that everyone says that that's so wrong, but all I want to do is yell at him,
It
get in his
works.
face, and say, "No, this is mine."
When I first adopted the dog, and I walked into the kitchen, and then I walked out of the kitchen, and the dog was standing on the dining table eating all the bread from a standing position. And I let out a yell, and she got off the dining table, and she's never been on it since. I think it was the kind of
Wow.
yell that meant business.
Well, I that's how I raised all my kids. So
Well, why should your dog
none
have
of
a
them are in
better
jail. Why
yeah,
should my dog get it?
yeah, why should your dog have a better upbringing? I don't understand these people like, don't yell at your dog. Like, what are you supposed to do? Reason with it?
Positive
Ah,
reinforcement.
screw that. How do you positively reinforce the fact that if it's on your table, it can eat what's there?
When I was a kid, I remember my dad would roll up the newspaper and hit the floor next to the dog
Yeah,
to
that
get its
work?
attention
Did
when
it?
it was being nasty.
Did it?
It did work, but
Huh?
I don't have any newspaper here, so
Well, and you won't be able to roll anything up because your wrist will be fused.
that's true too. Yay. I'm gonna have them video the whole thing so that you can watch it in real
Thoughtful.
time.
So thoughtful of you. Are you going to make Frankie watch it in real time?
No. He would want to. He would be totally into that.
Well, then some guys want to make a porno movie with their wives. Just be glad yours just wants to watch your wrist be cut open. Let him do it. Why not? If
Yeah.
it makes him happy. Small price to
No.
pay for a happy marriage.
Yeah, and a day off from work.
Yeah. I'm going to be watching something. I can't come in. What are you watching? My wife's wrist surgery.
He actually told me that he told his boss he needed Wednesday off because my wife doesn't do well with surgery.
Well, that's true.
But who does well with surgery?
Some people do better. My girlfriend, the one who just had her hip replaced, is home already and sending me texts. I don't know how.
Does she have good drugs?
I have not inquired.
Because I bet that's how she's texting.
I'll see her tomorrow. I'm bringing over a baked chicken.
Ooh, bring me a baked chicken.
Oh, can I say there's something weird going on with the food chain? I was going to make a rosemary chicken for her because we grow rosemary. And she wrote back, and this is why I love her. I hate to be picky, but I don't like rosemary. Would tarragon be all right? And I said, sure. I went to not one, not two, not three, but 4 produce markets, Trader Joe's, 2 different supermarkets. There seems to be like some kind of ban on tarragon. Did some alien land and just suck all the tarragon off the face of the earth?
I don't know. I don't think I even know what tarragon is.
It's an herb. It's just odd. This is America, darn it. Where's the tarragon when I want it?
It's a tarragon.
I don't understand how it's possible. This
Right
is
to your congressman. Where's my tarragon?
This is
Damn it.
America. I can walk 2 blocks from my house and get 17 kinds of exotic mushrooms and strange
I can
things.
go in my backyard and find them.
Yeah, well, those aren't edible. At least they shouldn't be. But, I mean, I can go down the street to the Asian market, get fish I've never heard of, see things dried up in bags that I wouldn't even recognize if you hydrated them for me, but I can't get a simple little herb. I think it's a conspiracy. Right up there with altering the voting machines, someone has also swiped all the tarragon.
Turi's going to vote for the politician that promises more Tarragon.
That's it. The politician who offers a good supply of Tarragon at a reasonable price will get my vote.
See, now I'm going to have to go to the store and smell Tarragon because I have no idea what it is.
Well, good luck, because all together now, there
There
is
is a
no
name.
Tarragon. If you've made it this far, chances are you've been enjoying Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. In which case, you might also like my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air. You can find that at your neighborhood independent bookstore or on Amazon. Marci and I really appreciate your good reviews wherever you care to leave them. Your kind words help the podcast grow. Thanks.